Oh, excuse me. Well, good morning, everybody. We're off and running. It's amazing I even got out of bed this morning. Oh, what a night last night. Trent's Troubles, g'day. How you doing? Robert Mack, Dilbo Baggins, Mark Verdun, Robert Mack. How's Robert Mack doing? Anyway, good to see you all here this morning. And yeah, we had a big night last night. Andy Stubbs, g'day. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Yes, the whole thing. G'day, g'day. G'day means everything, you know. It's always the best way to say it. Australians shorten everything. Apart from Thais. Thais shorten everything too. Good on my old trusty, you know, was it All Cafe Coffee? There you go. A bit of a plug there for 7-Eleven. You can't go past a 7-Eleven coffee. It's 30 baht. That's for certain. Hey. Yeah. Anyway, so, well, what are we going to do this morning? I got some shots from last night. Where are we, sir? Where's my shot? God, look at the Bitcoin's gone up through the roof again, isn't it? Pictures, photos. What have we got from our photo album? There we go. Dragged it across to here. There we go. So out at Susie's place last night with the lads, and of course Susie. Yeah, there's look at that handsome gentleman there on the left. We all know who that is. And on the right, I'm the one who's holding the camera, of course. Johnny Siam, g'day. How you doing? Yes, and there's Susie in the centre there, looking as charming as ever. They sort of said, why didn't you make this the backdrop for the screen today? I thought, no, it's just a bit too much in your face, I thought. And good morning, Robert Groves. How you doing? Yeah, and so we had, and there, and later in the evening, a little bit more lights on. It's a definite difference from a few weeks previously when the first opening night, when it was completely pitch black. I think there was only 2 places open. At least this time there was a few more places open. So things are starting to lift up in the whole not YouTube game. What I'm thinking about. I think I drank too much last night. Oh my god. But yeah, so we had a good night last night. Yeah, so things. The Bright Lights big city is coming back. Let's hope we can. Hopefully it'll stay that way for. Without a third wave. They are talking about opening things up in April. I think they're talking about if you got the yellow card. I believe the yellow card indicates the fact that you may even be allowed to come in. And Luke, morning, Luke. How you doing, Mr. Luke?
Hey, yeah, just getting home from work.
Just getting home from work, yeah.
Yes, sir.
Oh, that's the way to go. I don't know how anybody could face the whole my channel straight after work, but anyway. I've been getting a bunch of comments from everybody. They loved the video from yesterday, the release video from yesterday. There was they reckon Chanya should hold the camera more often and she should have her own channel and everything else.
Yeah, I like that video too.
It was funny, I know. There was actually more funny bits, but unfortunately, with my camera setup, you got to turn the receiver on, the labial mic receiver. Then you got to turn it on the transmitter, or doesn't matter. Doesn't matter about the audio. You got to turn both on. Then you turn the camera on. Then you start recording. So it's 4 buttons you got to press. And if you don't press them all in the right order, then it all goes wonky and you don't record sound. So yes, there was a few more funny bits, and they weren't quite as funny if we tried to retake them. You know, like they were just those candid moments, just the little quips she says. And unfortunately, we didn't have the audio for that. Unfortunately, so a bit of a letdown. Lee Hughes, g'day. We were talking about you last night. Yes, poor Lee. Yes, he's dying to get back. So you got yourself your yellow card there, Lee. You know, like the quarantine, or what do they call it? The vaccination card or the vaccination certificate. They're talking about this thing here is coming in April 1. They're going to lighten up. Well, whether this happens or not, we've still got 2 weeks. What is it? What's the date today? It's the 13th. So, 26. So 2.5 weeks before. Why they're going to do this on April 1st, I don't know. The whole thing looks like a joke when you start to think about it. But yeah, they're talking about the fact that April 1, if you've got this thing that they're talking about, the vaccination certificate, you'll be able to come to Thailand, and you're only going to spend 7 days. You've got to have obviously you've got to have a COVID test 3 days before travel. Then that's going to be part of the certificate of entry. And then you get here, you'll be tested when you go to the hotel. They'll get the results back, and then 7 days later they'll test you again, right? And if that test comes back negative within that 7 days, then you'll be allowed to leave the quarantine area. But it's only if you've got the vaccination certificate. This is what's this could all change in 2 weeks. Typical Thailand. But anyway, Trench Travels live chat with Shah. Yeah, she's in the shower. No, we're not going to take the camera in there. Give us a break. So my wife is from Lopburi. Okay, Bradley, how you doing? That's a new name. I haven't seen the name Bradley here before. And Lee hasn't had his vaccination certificate, but he's got his flight booked for November. Okay, so we're looking forward to having Lee back in November. They're talking about opening things up by October anyway. They really want to. There's a big focus to open up full travel by October. But I really don't know how that's going to happen. It's going to be depending on how many people around the globe are vaccinated and everything else. And William, good morning. How you doing? Thomas Ogden, has he joined? Yeah, he joined. Oggy, say hello, Oggy. He's working his camera, working his microphone out again, as usual.
Hello.
There he is. How you doing?
Oh, I was just napping at my desk.
You were just napping at your desk, yes. I've got to catch Psycho, hopefully, sort of a bit later on. So he was looking into the game and sort of see if he can roll back the level that we're currently at. Yeah, Niall and Thailand, good morning. Yes, glad we made it home. We did make it home. We've already given everybody a bit of a snapshot. There you go. You can pluck. And Jerry's there as well. There we go, the two of you. Yeah, it was a good night last night. I think it was refreshing. Like, okay, we did it a few weeks ago, but that was the first night things were open. And last night it was a very hopeful night. We really felt the fact that things were, like humming again. There was a definite vibe in the air last night, which really was very positive. And it was a lot of fun too, But yeah, hopefully, we'll start seeing some people come back for April. We've got Songkran is that they're doing everything to make Songkran a possibility this year, because I think that really let down a lot of people last year by putting the moratorium out. I was looking on my Facebook this morning as well, and I noticed sort of some of the events, how Facebook says, it reminds you of events that happened a year ago and things like that. Favourites, fundraisers. I'm just trying to think how you get back to that place, because even now you can't even work out how to, most recent event. No, I don't want most recent. So it presented a picture for me from last 12 months ago. It was me walking through the Emporium, where they had the misting spray thing that was all found out to be a big flop. It was a big marketing gimmick. But yeah, some photos come up and said that was reminding me of what happened 12 months ago. That was just the start of COVID. Things were just sort of starting to lock down back. I don't know how you even get back to that. How do you get back to your
history?
not history. It's in Facebook. Your Facebook. Oh, memories. That's it, isn't it? They call it memories. There it is.
Yeah. Histories, memories. What's the difference?
Yeah. So that was in the M4. That's the M quarter. Everybody having their masks on, and they had this EM auto sanitizing gate, which was a complete bomb. It didn't work. There was no engineering certificate. It was just a marketing gimmick. But yeah, it was reminding us 12 months ago what happened. Robert's telling us it's a 6-day holiday this year, is it? I haven't even looked at the dates. What's it? Augie's now going to play Valheim, is that right? Slacker. What's it? Calendar.
You know me.
Yeah.
I multitask.
April. So so it looks like it's what day's Songkran start on? The 13th, isn't it? 13th, 14th, and 15th is Songkran usually. So yeah, well that would make, in fact, they'd make 12th and the 16th holiday as well, because Thais just won't go to work for one day, have 3 days off, and then go back to work for one day. So looks like it's going to be a long Songkran. As long as we can have some water splashing, we'll be okay.
No comment.
What was the name of the bar on Cowboy that we went to, and the one that wasn't a rip-off? Jesus. God, going back, that was what, 18 months ago? What was the last time you were here? Interestingly enough, the pricing was quite reasonable. In comparison, last night, I think I only spent 3,000 baht. Bought a few girls, a few drinks and things like that. But again, it's the prices and everything else like that. It's relative. The ones I like on Cowboy is Susie Wong's. Then there's Long Gun and Dollhouse. They're my three favourites there. The other ones there tend to be sort of, a bit so-so. But I don't know which one. I'm trying to remember which one, because I don't take photos when I'm going there. Good stuff, Robert. Quarantine isn't fun, but 7 days isn't too bad. Yeah, don't forget, Niall was stuck in a windowless room for 7 days. I don't know how he managed. I would have been crawling the wall after 7 days. Chanya, what you doing? Darling, what you doing?
Not doing.
Calm, what you doing?
No.
They want to see you again.
No.
Hmm.
I'm not
They want to see you. Calm. Of course, I'd have to. Let me just, so you can see. I'll have to actually take that off. Right, there we go. There she is. Come on.
สวัสดีค่ะ everybody
XNL donated $5 for the super chat. Thanks, X. Hey, and Darla's they're tipping you, darling. They're sending you money. They send you some money.
Oh, thank you. Hi everybody.
Yeah. Andy sort of says, hi, Warren sends $5. Oh my God. Oh my God. Now you want to go make up? Yep.
Make up first.
Make up first. What do you think? See, they come down more. See,
No.
the operation finished now. See, the eyes very good. Yeah. See. Pity. And they want you to have new channel, okay? They want you make new video and everything.
People like to see me?
Yeah, people like to see you every day.
Really?
Really? Yes.
I think people don't like to see me
Why?
because I'm speak not good.
She's so shy when it comes to that. Oh my God. Move those out of the way, darling.
Huh?
Move. This one, move. I want to eat.
Oh,
Crazy girl. You're looking sexy today, darling. You sexy today. What's this? What? What's you have, baby?
No, not. No.
There you go. It's a good shot for the day. Yeah? We'll use it as a thumbnail.
Yes, work hard.
You work hard.
I really work hard
Yeah.
every day. But you go somewhere talking with some girl.
Go soy
on a-
cowboy.
every time. I'm so
Oh,
sad,
no.
people. You see, I work. Him go pay.
Well, you go out
Thinking.
on Thursday. You go out with your girlfriends and you eat.
I just to go eat and talk something.
Eat. What 4 hour, 5 hour eating.
And
eat,
you
eat.
go to talking with some girl and
Drinking.
dancing.
Yeah.
Oh, so
Drinking.
sad.
It's so good.
I'm so sad.
Why? Why?
I jealous.
You're jealous, you know. She loves me.
Yep.
Yeah, oh my God.
โอ้ย
Move.
I go now. Bye bye, everybody. สวัสดีค่ะ
There we go. So what have I missed? I should have put the other camera on for the people on the Discord so they could have seen her as well, shouldn't I? Such is life. You probably saw it delayed. Oh, where are we going to? Yeah. Anyway, we just remove the background again. There we go. Okay, so she's popped in. Had a Coca-Cola in Country Road last night after leaving the crazy house. 120 baht for cola. Yeah. Tell me about it. Yeah. You only went in to use the bathroom. Yeah, it's one thing that those places tend to be a little bit sort of weird with the bathroom sort of stood up there. You go inside, and all the girls from the stage are always walking through the bathroom. There's only one bathroom. Well, generally there's only one bathroom, and the girls just walk. So you're having a slash of and all you can sort of see in the mirrors, and the girls walking past. Yeah, you definitely can't be shy in Thailand. That's for certain. Yeah, Chanya looking beautiful as usual. She always looks beautiful, I know. She should have her own channel. Hello, Wazza. Hello, beautiful Chanya and everybody. Yes. Bye, Chanya. Andy Stubbs, I get to go on one of these planes in 2 weeks. Yeah, wait, well, you coming to Thailand, are you? Andy, are you really coming to Thailand, or are you just getting on a plane? You were going from Melbourne to Sydney or something. What's going on there? Be good to have you back here. And Stephen Monash, g'day. Oh, that's good. Let me just move this cup out of the way before it. Oi. Anyway, so we are here. We are here this morning. We've got Oggy and we got Luke. So what's going on the other side of the world? That was a bit of a what's happening in Thailand. I don't know what's happening everywhere else. What's happening your side of the world? Yeah, go on.
They're all going crazy. That's all there is to it. They just think that, oh yeah, vaccine's out. Now we're going to go ahead and open everything up.
That's what's happening, yeah?
Yep.
Are the numbers going down? I don't know, I haven't even looked at them.
Yeah, they have been, but I mean, like, you know.
But
They're going to open. They're going to release everything. Let everybody start hanging out again, and we're going to have another spike.
You think?
That's my opinion. They've released occupancy limits on the hotels and restaurants and bars, and they're gonna cause another spike.
Okay. What about your side of the world, Luke? What's happening down your way?
Oh, same thing. Texas is wide open now. I finally got to see how cute that girl looked without the mask. They're just looking at her eyes for like months.
were her teeth all screwed up?
Yeah, no, and I was like in fear, and I was like, oh my god, what's gonna happen when the mask come off? She was still cute. That was a nice way to start the day.
Oh, good. And which girl are we talking about?
What I stop in on Fridays and get coffee.
Oh, okay. This is your
It's
coffee
one
maker.
of those. Yeah, the shop, the coffee shop girl. Yeah, we're getting ready for tornado season in Texas.
Fidelity
Spring.
Quester says, when are you going to wear that Vegemite? Excuse me. So, like, I've been trying to work out who sent me this. So it must have been Fidelity Quest that sent me the shirt. It got to me relayed via Thai with Sarah. It got sent to her, and then she sort of passed it on to me. The Vegemite shirt. There it is, the Vegemite shirt. So did you send it, Fidelity Quester? That's it. Unfortunately, it's a bad fit. I need to have Mother have a look at it and sort of do a bit of adjustments on it. It just doesn't feel. It feels odd on me. That's all. That's why I haven't worn it. 7 minutes low profile. At 59, just pleased to wake up in the morning. Really, you're always going on about your age there, Stephen. You know, like seriously, you're only a year younger than me. Surely you can keep up. Anyway, so any questions that I missed already? Because of the fact that Chanya was on the camera, I wasn't watching what was going on.
You had some nice distractions there.
Yeah, so I think we all got distracted there from what we're doing. But anyway, it's nicer for her to drop in. But yeah, well, it seems like everybody loves that video from yesterday. It was quite hilarious. I knew some of the candid bits that she forgot to put the microphone on. Just really sort of, if we could only have made that part of the video too, it would have been fun. But it didn't quite work without the audio. One of these days, I'll get a camera crew who can, getting a third party, pay a Thai to actually just hold the camera and do the shooting, so we can both be in the shot and both tell a story, just off the cuff, have a cameraman rather than, the things we can dream about. House Wazza, when is it move-in day? Well, we haven't got any finalisation on that. We are working towards that. I think, for the group here, I can just say we have got an approval with the bank. We're just trying to the bank's trying to adjust it a bit better in our favour, which really comes down to the fact that because she runs a salon, she was originally sort of given the approval based as just hair cutting salon, but then of course they turned around and said, can you separate the hair cutting from the styling and the special stuff that you do? Because if we can see that has a better throughput on your business, we can lend you more. Because it's not just hair cutting, which is 120 baht a haircut, versus like a straightening and colour, which might be 1500 baht. So they wanted to see that on the books and get it all separated. Because they said we can then lend you more. So we've been approved at 70%, but we could be getting approval for 85%. That's all we're waiting for now. So that's what's happening, and that should come through in the next week or two, hopefully. But we're still looking probably May to move in.
Well, they got to finish it, right?
Well, I think we saw the pictures the other day. There was a video out at the beginning of the week. I think we had to walk through the house at the beginning of the week. So I can probably get up on the screen.
It's getting close.
Where is it? House build process. Open in a new tab. Yeah, let me just take you. Where are we? So. There we go. I actually walked into the wrong house at the beginning. I don't know if anybody actually saw that. I was actually going to walk into the next door neighbour's house. But yeah, so they got the yard. Oh, let me get out of the screen here. Yeah, so they've levelled the ground. Somebody asked us, said, why all the rocks? Said, well, that's obviously the subflooring or the ground. It's got to be turfed over the top of that. hopefully, I think they were waiting for a rain to happen so that it loosens the soil up or sort of melts the soil down a bit, or maybe they're just going to water it down. I don't know. But yeah, so. And Graham in Pictures, hi, still watching, just never have time to when in live. Okay, so that's all right. A lot of people watch the live stream later on. You know, it's part of the deal, I suppose. You can't satisfy everybody, but it's usually sort of, well, I've been told it's quite entertaining to watch it. You know, have it playing in the background while you're doing something around the house. Not that I ever really sort of, you know, I never think about it that way. Chanya was great doing the video. And you had both hands to eat. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that's right. She photo. You know, she took the video of me eating Thai food. Yes, that's right. I remember. Bring some dirty sausages to the house. Oh, dirty sausages to the house, woman. Barbecue party, Warren's house. That's it. Yeah, when he moves in. Yeah, so we're. You know, we're going to have the over that side there towards the left-hand wall. We plan to have. I don't know if we can have them. Where? Over here, we're going to put the barbecue here, the sort of gazebo thing here. You know, we're going to have some trees around the outside. It's all part of the thing, I guess. Australia Open international travel in November. Yeah, I reckon November. Okay, well, we'll have to see if that actually happens. I think Australia's saying something like that might be more positive than hearing the stories here in Thailand, because it seems like there's actually 3 parties here that all make different decisions, and whether they actually get finalised depends on who's fighting who at the time. It's a bit hard to follow sometimes. You hear one thing one day, and the next day sort of somebody else just says no, we're not going to do it. Anyway. I will take some like that. Straight open, yeah. So, soil very clay-like. Yeah, they said that's pretty typical of what, because don't forget these were rice fields. I don't know where they get the soil from, but like they're not going to truck it from the mountains, are they? The mountains are good 6 to 8 hours away. This would be just like Bangkok is a clay substrate. Where does the soil come from? Well, they're probably digging out of some other hole, and putting it here. So it's very clay-like, yes. But what they do about the turf, I don't know. I don't know where they grow the turf either. I remember sort of where I lived in Australia. It was only just across the gorge. We had the big turf farms. There a lot of them out near sort of near the river that goes around through Penrith and things like that. Nice big flat areas where they just rip up all the turf and put it, lay it down. G-Player, 3rd wave of corona infection hits Italy now. Schools, shops, restaurants and museums closed from Monday in Rome and other regions to curb the infection. Is that right? Yeah, again, every country's just lost the plot on this whole thing. They don't know what to do. We were talking about it a lot last night. We were sort of trying to make, head and the tail of the different people thinking about the different way they do things. It's just the blind leading the blind when you think about it. At least Thailand seems to have some sort of handle on this thing. Most people wouldn't think it that way, but yeah. A total lockdown sort of certainly made a big difference to curbing the thing, and that big outbreak in Samut Sakhon is pretty much over now. I think they're going to be doing some vaccinations this week in Samut Sakhon around the what they call the that slave workforce, so for want of a better word, the Myanmar people that come up and do all the
migrant labor.
Migrant labour. I'm trying to think of the word. Don't worry, I had quite a few to drink last night. It's amazing. It's amazing I'm copacetic at this level.
No comment.
Yo, when's that video coming out?
Well, I've got it. I haven't even. The camera's still in my bag. I haven't even pulled the footage off yet. No, there's no footage of Soy Cowboy. I don't do that shit. But I got one photo as we're walking in, which that's good enough. Gotta respect the girls. Of course, walking down there, you know, we got all the lovely girls on the street who want to give you the phone number, you know, and a few of them sort of hiding their face and everything else. Oh, you're on the street, darling. You know, if you're going to work that trade, get used to it. People are going to have cameras, but yeah, you know, the lovely girls. You know, they love to give you their phone number. Stephen Monas, put some plastic or artificial grass in. No, if you're going to have a house, you're going to have real grass. And, you know, like these guests that are going to live in the under the stairs room, well, when you come round, well, you can mow the lawn. So, Robert in Shah, Robert Groves, he's still mowing his own lawn. I don't know why. He's the mayor. Why would the mayor mow their own lawn? He keeps on telling me the fact that it's because he doesn't trust anybody else to do it.
You mean he wants them to get it done right?
Yeah, supposedly his main turf area near you, Warren, is just north of Rangsit, is it? Okay, and just outside Bangkok. So yeah, fair enough. I'm not quite sure what they're growing it in. They're using river soil, or they're using a sort of good dark soil, or is it done in this clay substrate soil? I haven't really sort of paid much attention to turf, but I've seen a few of the houses on the back there. They've gone through and you know, put some turf down, which looks pretty good. A few words about creating internet via fibre. What do you mean? You want me to talk about the internet? Not quite sure what you're asking there. A few words about it. Well, you know, like 3BB. There we go. Thailand. This is my provider. What are they offering? Speed test, DTAC. They have their own website. I'm sure they have their own website. That doesn't look the provider. Oh, there we go. They do have a website. From what, it doesn't come up in the actual search. I don't know. Go to English. We haven't even signed up for these new packages they've got. This is the Giga TV now they're offering. So like $700 a month is, well, I think I'm paying, what, $7.49. So I think I pay a little bit less than that. Promotions, internet packages. There we go. I lose track of what I said. This is what I've got. So $700 a month, 1 gigabit speed, 500 megabit per second up. Then you got 1 gigabit by 700. That's 900, and 1 gigabit. One gigabit's 1200. I really have no need for the 1200. You know, for the 1x1. The uploads I do is like 2 to 3 gigabytes every 2 to 3 days, which is the video, and that only takes like 20 seconds to upload. So why I need to go faster than that, I don't know. I can't see any point of it. I could probably even roll down to this one, go 1 gigabit down and only 100 megabits up. It's not going to really make much difference. That's what we put on this one here, is a package we put into the shop. Well, we actually had this package, the 700 package, in the shop, but she doesn't do any upload at all, so she's rolled that down to the 590. But yes, that's the, you know, I think when we move in, oh yes, okay, we'll probably upgrade to this package. So that one's the home broadband. So it's the same price. The Giga TV, they'd give you streaming TV on top of, you know, your service. I can't see anything wrong with that. Look, okay, so the Giga TV, it looks like an Android. There's a storage RAM 2 gigabytes, Android 10, Chrome, yeah. So they're using something very similar to these Android, these Android boxes. So the legality of the streaming service, that would be a little bit in question, whether it's actually a rebroadcast of some of the stuff that you had there. I don't know. But it's better than obviously the ones, some of the stuff that's floating around now. At least they're coming out with a company, I suppose a company backed. But yes, all they need is your little, what they call it. These keypads are absolutely crap things to use. You got to get a USB, with a handheld keyboard sort of thing. That really helps. Takes a lot of water to get it. Well, we've only got a small area. I think somebody was asking me the actual numbers. Right, so the land size is 225 square metres. Right, so I lived on 740 square metres in Australia, so it's the land is quite considerably smaller. The house area, the internal of the house, is 132 square metres. Grow tobacco. Well, we've got tobacco growing up in Sukoto. I don't need to grow it down here. But we've already got the 1,000 litre tank here, which will be going. Well, we'll be moving the 1,000 litre tank from here to the new house. As part of what we're going to do is we're going to put the other stuff back in. So they had a bit of a dodgy water pump, but that'll go back in because we'll take our water pump with us and our tank with us, and just we got to reconnect it all up and take that stuff with us. The air conditioners will go with us. We're not getting, because of the thing that's happening, we're not going to get much new furniture. We'll make do with the furniture we've got until when we move in, and we'll sort of start piecemealing everything else after that. And the chandelier, of course. Let's not forget the chandelier. Oh my God, seriously. She doesn't. I'm sure she has no idea how hard these things are to clean. Where's my photos? Yes, chandeliers. Chandeliers. Oh my God. She's got this fixation with chandeliers. Which one you choose, I don't know. This is just what's in HomePro. Well, just a bit of a selection though. I could never choose one, really.
Choose the one that's easiest to clean.
Well, I'm not cleaning it. I told her. I told her I am not. I am not cleaning it. I honestly am not cleaning it. That's it. End of story. I'll pay a Thai to come in and erect some sort of boards across the stairwell so that they can kill themselves, right, so they can get up there and clean it. Because I'm certainly not going to be going up there and cleaning. They look great for the first 12 months, and then the spiders make homes in them, and then they sit there. They're just toast. I think you've got to get those ones that they're on a chain. You've actually got, to clean them, you actually sort of wind down the chain so that the actual chandelier comes down to human height, so you can actually put a cleaner through it. Johnny Siam, there's enough clay on the yard there to make a oven, pizza oven. Well, that's something I really. Well, of course, where we are, this is just off Sai, and there is a wood-fired pizza place on Sai. Let me see if I can find where it is. It's not going to tell me where it is. Pizza company. No, I don't want that. I want there's something that's along here. I wonder if I can see it on the satellite. Big bike. That's a big bike shop there. There's a big bike shop on the main road there. Somewhere along here, there's a maybe a Sci C. I keep on going. We run along this all the time. But somewhere along here, it's either Sci C or Sci Hard. That's a wood-fire pizza place. We haven't been there yet, and I'm really sort of dying to get there at some stage. Try it out. Yeah, so we don't really need to put a wood-fired pizza in, a wood fire or a pizza oven in, because we're not too far to go and get one. But somewhere along, that's either side. I'm gonna have to go out and sort of mark some of these places out. Maybe we'll to do a trip there next week, just to check it out and try the wood-fired pizza. Of course, like what was it, last night or yesterday? What did we have yesterday? That was at the Wine Connection. That was an absolutely yummy pizza. It really was. Oh my God, I put on a kilo. Yeah, good value too. Was it 229 baht plus the 10% surcharge or whatever? I think it's 240 baht all up. So they give you a salad, pizza, and a drink for 240 baht. Really good value. That's their lunchtime deal at the Wine Connection. If you're ever going out this way and you want to have it, it's a pizza or pasta. So you got a choice of pizzas or you got a choice of pasta dishes. Definitely good value. Yeah, very, very tasty. Nah, Stephen, don't buy a wood-fired pizza. You will have to clean it. A wood-fired pizza oven. I'm waiting for the monitor lizard to appear on the front porch. See Warren's reaction. Hope he gets it on film. You reckon? Well, I haven't seen any signs of monitor lizards along the Klong there, but I'm sure that they probably come in every so often. I would just imagine the fact that the locals will get rid of them pretty quickly if they did decide to move in. I mentioned the play base. Yeah. Anyway, so that's what's been happening. So what was the general question about the internet? So I still haven't quite worked out what he was asking. William, get a few bags of cow shit and mix it with your clay. Makes the plants grow, including the grass. Keep you busy when Chanya's working. Yeah, right. That's it. I'm not gonna have an lawnmower. I'll get a tie to do it. Like the 5 at a time THB charge. I've got a bar so I can with the cost phone number on it. Really? Anyway, so what are we going to talk about? Well, wrestling? Yeah. It's the first time I've actually looked at their package deal. Yeah, so listen, to me, I think the whole, I got the internet package, so we may probably end up when we move there, we'll change it to the TV and entertainment package. The real big problem there is the fact that I want the base station has to be in the computer room because I will not be I'll not be doing Wi-Fi connection. It's going to have to be sort of wired. So I'm not quite sure how that happens. Whether they put that device in there. But anyway, something for me to worry about. Technical, yeah. So these new base stations. That's a black one. Receive Wi-Fi 6 times faster wireless speed when registered today. Okay. Yep, it's got to be cabled into my two devices here, and then of course the rest of the house will be Wi-Fi, unless of course they want to run cables. but I don't want to rip anything up in the house just to lay more cables on. I could have thought about that before we started, but
I was gonna say I would have thought you would have put that in.
well, I
When they
wasn't
were
worried.
building.
I wasn't worried about it. As long as when the internet comes in, it's going to go into the computer room. That's it. Everybody else can have Wi-Fi.
There you go. Perfect. Just have them punch a cable through your wall there into your
Well,
computer room.
like they did
you'll be
here.
good to go.
It's only, I think it's about a sort of a 10mm drill size hole through the
Yeah.
wall, right? And it just comes in across the skirting board and up to the little device up here. So, I will just make sure it just goes over in the corner there, probably mount it on the wall, and then I'll get a couple of cables. It's all good. I've already got the cables, but I probably need a little bit longer. I think these cables are only 2 metre long. Probably need to get 3-metre cables. But that's not a big difficulty. But yes, there's other broadband providers, but I've been really happy with 3BB. The locals will hear you squat. The locals will hear you scream.
When he sees the monitor,
So Robert Groves,
they're
True
talking
give you a better internet and TV package than 3BB. Well, I suppose it's personal preference, but the people I've talked to on True here in Bangkok tell me the service is absolute crap, and they've had nothing but problems with it. But again, it could be just regions, it could be sort of locales, just areas. But we've on 3BB as long as I can remember. We've had 3BB broadband here for at least 12 years. Not in this house, but every time we go to a different house, we've always put 3BB in, and they've been good. The only thing I've got to deal with is I've got to check our IP address with them. What's my IP? Has it changed? No, it's still 113. Okay. When they connect into my game server, every few days they reset it, and I've got to publish the new IP address. But anyway, that's another thing to worry about. Yeah, so it looks like so a lot. Just the people I've talked to here in Bangkok have just given me sort of told me about all the problems they have with True. I wouldn't go with True, just from what I've heard. Yeah, to Stephen Manager, NBN doesn't not even talk about NBN. What they're doing here in Thailand, everybody's going fibre to the house, right? In Australia, for some reason, think that fibre into the top of the street, and then you can do a VDSL from the street to your house. Well, VDSL has limits, and they're never going to solve those limits because it's unreliable to get it any faster than what it is. I think the maximum speed of a VDSL is 60 megabits per second. Even at a short hop. You'll never get, unless of course you go and pay them to cable to the house, you're just never going to get a service out of them. But that's
sort of. Are they using POTS?
I don't know.
Plain old telephone cable?
Well, they're using copper. Yeah, they're using copper.
Not cable, but just wire.
Yeah.
Just what we call POT, plain old telephone service.
Oh, we just call it copper wire service because, this is the thing. See, Telstra in Australia, right, own all the copper. Not like here in Thailand where you've got 4 different providers who run all those things in the street and in the air. They keep on talking about that. People think it's power cables. No, it's not. It's comms cables. But again, whose bit of copper's whose? It's all worth money, but thing is, no one provider can really sort of touch another provider's copper. Unless of course the government says rip it down, then they all have to come to the party. But they're not going to do it voluntarily until the government says do it. That's the only reason why it's getting done. But VDSL speeds up to 52 megabits per second downstream and 16 megabits per upstream. That's all you're going to get out of VDSL. So that's what they call last mile hop. In Australia, you're stuffed, right? So you got gigabit speeds on fibre to the top of your street, and then everybody's been who comes up with these ideas? It's because the fact Telstra owned the copper, right? And they were losing business. They wanted to maintain the copper service because it's money for them, right?
Here in the U.S., we've got copper that you're talking about, POTS, and then we've also got cable, the coaxial.
Yeah,
and they're pushing the gigabit and better through coaxial.
Yeah, coax is again. So when you got NXQ, right, the VDSL, these are the other standards. So VDSL, VDSL2, and VDSL2V plus. These are the three standards. You can get up to 300 megabits per second downstream or in the NXQ, which is I'm not quite sure what it's cabled on. But yeah, it's that's what they're doing last hop. I think there are places like we were in the street. Well, in our street we had both Telstra cable and Optus cable. Optus was sold into NBN. It was actually just going through when I left, so 2016. I think 2015 they Optus sold all their infrastructure to the NBN, and they were just going through a process of change just when I left. But yeah, the cable has a better throughput. It's just the different frequencies that they'll multiplex. But yeah, what they're doing in Australia, if you didn't have cable, a cable service in the street, because they won't allow cable to be rolled out anywhere. There was too much flack from people like some knives that just said, sorry, it's an eyesore. People in St Ives are crazy people. But yeah, so they stopped rolling out cable back in in the late 90s or the early 2000s. Basically, there was no more cable services being sort of commissioned anywhere, or maybe it was done by regions or by suburb. Certain people, like the St Ives people own. They weren't going to have the cable in their street. That's it. You know how it goes. But anyway, G-Player, a Thai wife asks her Swedish husband, when are we buying a house? He answers, but honey, we are so close to North Korea, and they have just launched the development in a nuclear program in North Korea. What?
Deployment.
No, deployment. Yeah, sorry, deployment. I'm not quite sure what that refers to. Anyway, Robert, almost living the dream. Love Wazza's videos of your home. Okay, but that's what everybody's raving about the video from yesterday. So let me go back to my channel. Where's my channel? What do we got? The numbers. What do we got? 1.5. We haven't even been 22 hours, so it's 1.5K views already. So it's working quite well. And it is the weekend, so we should probably get 3, 4, maybe 3 or 4K views on that one. I think it was just funny, just Chanya just being herself. It was always the best. Stephen, my name. As long as I have shares in Tulsa, I love them. When I sell them, I'll let them have it. If there's a storm and one house loses connection, the whole street goes out. Yes, I know. How will I've been following that, a little bit. SpaceX. What do they call in the SpaceX program? Starlink. There's been some rates coming out of Starlink.
But it's still satellite, so you're still going to have a hellacious ping to get up to it and back down.
Well, that's only going to be the devices at either end.
Well, but I mean, no, you've got an actual physical delay for light speed.
Well, you don't have a delay for light speed. You've got a transmitter and receiver. You're transmitting across.
Well, but those are satellites. So you have to. I've had Hughes before, and Hughes, what do they call it? Latency was so high that you couldn't game with it. It's good for downloading and it's good for uploading, but your latency is so high because it has to go all the way to orbit and then come back down.
Which is like light speed is like 0.3 of a second.
But the delays and everything through the satellite network is
there are.
You'll end up with 300-400 millisecond delays.
That's on technology that's 20 years old. Yes, this thing here, from what I've been hearing, the delays, latency will drop to 20 milliseconds later this year. So they're talking about 20 millisecond latency, because it's a new foundation technology. I know what you're talking about. Yes, like I've had people in Australia been on what they call, there's one in Australia where you've got a satellite download and you've got copper wire return loop. So it's like and they talked about that as being absolutely horrendous. But again, that's all they could get,
Well, I actually had an uplink, so I had down and up through my satellite dish.
Right.
And the latency was just
Yeah, I know. 20 years ago, it was absolutely horrendous. Nobody could do anything with it. And again, mostly it's to do with the technology and the equipment and everything else. At least he's done something which he's built something foundation which is totally his design, his infrastructure. I think that's where a lot of these other delays are. When we look at even sort of the inter-country links, on the terabit links across the sea cables, you sort of see those pings. Like, okay, if I show you a bit of software and go to ping plotter.
Ping plotter, yes.
So you look at, right at whatever. Come on, let's drag this over here. Oh no, I don't want to freaking update it. Cancel. Just leave me alone.
New version available.
Really? So this is only the free version of Ping Plotter. But if we take something like Bunnings here, Bunnings in Australia. Well, that's actually not a bad one. I don't think Bunnings are running out of Australia at all. I think they're running out of Singapore. Whatever that is. That doesn't make any sense at all. They're broadcasting from local loop. Let's just stop on that one. Let's pick something in Australia. AC Plumbing. There we go. So and this is just from Thailand to Australia. This is where the link leaves Thailand, or the mainland here, and that's where the next point on the hop. So this big jump is where it goes undersea. Why that hasn't been improved over the last 20 years as well is, again, the cost of the infrastructure to replace those terabit links between countries is horrendous, and of course it's not like it's not a commercial product anymore. Like, these are specialized, terabit, undersea cable links, where there's only, like, it might be, 50 of these units ever built around the world, so they have a horrendous price, and to upgrade them, you're talking millions of dollars. They do. They're expensive. But this is what Australia should have done. Australia should have, bought undersea cable and let business drive it and put it to the houses, and put stipulations. The fact that for every person wants to provide internet, you have to 10% of your client base has to be country people at the same price. You can't that would have let technology grow in Australia. If they'd only just solved that problem and put decent sort of terabit links between the country, and Australia would have had top grade service. But no, that just doesn't happen. That wouldn't have helped the Telstra, and it wouldn't have helped the media, the Murdoch companies, because again, Murdoch, he was complaining he's losing airtime to these internet services. But yeah, but that's what you get at the moment. This is where it goes. Well, I don't know where it's going to. Ventrap, know who those ones there. Can't even recognise it's what Superloop. Who is Superloop? God. Different people coming on. Anyway, so yeah, Ping Plotter. few questions been asked. I use satellite remote mining sites. I find quite fast. Hey, again, the Starlink has low Earth orbit, not geosync. I think 22k miles, 22,000 miles. I am internet. I am internet now, because next door getting connected to NBN now, and every time I get cut off. Yeah, we have every time we have problems here is usually the fact that I look out the street and we see the guys from True in the street fiddling with the box out there, which is where we terminate in the street, and then they take out our 3BB service for 2 hours because somebody crosswires something. It's happened a few times in the last 18 months. Quick phone call. What I tend to do is, I know they're sorted out, I just tether to my phone for a couple of hours. Yeah, so the 20 to 40 millisecond latency, that's what the articles are saying. Okay, Warren, gentlemen, I have to go. You got to go to Macro to buy some beer. Okay, Robert, you take it easy. I should be doing it.
I just keep the beer in my fridge.
Got to keep one going there. After looking at the different, I get, because I'm looking at the chat from Streamlabs, which I can scroll up and down. So I try to find a thing, and because I really should keep an idea what's going on the actual feed as well.
Andy, Australia, 20th richest country in the world, #1 for the dumbest.
Thank you. Very good. Very good. Yeah, I totally agree with you there. What time is it? We're already an hour into the program. Doesn't even feel like it. Are we going to talk about anything today? I don't know. What's on the cards today? I've already sort of mentioned. Well, we've already mentioned the situation with. Let me go to my mail. Let's just see what we got happening in the forum space. Tyler's. What have we got? Oh yeah, this is. Oh, well, let's talk about this. This is crap. This is crazy shit. This really is. I don't know who come up with this crazy bullshit idea. Thailand's new what do you call it, speed limits, which come in I think April 1 this year. The new rules, which were first announced earlier this month, have now become law after they have been published in the Royal Gazette. Have now become law after being published in the Royal Gazette on Wednesday. Notably, of the new rules is the increase in speed limits for cars using highways. Get this. The new rules state that anyone using the outside lane, that's the one in the centre, right, the outside lane, on a highway must not drive slower than 100 kilometres an hour, but no faster than 120 kilometres an hour. The new speed limit for vehicles is as follows. Vehicles with more than 15 seats has a speed limit of 90 kilometres an hour. Tow trucks 65 kilometres an hour, motorcycles 80 kilometres an hour, big bikes 400cc and above. Oh, okay, that's been. I thought it was. I read yesterday that was only 100. Maybe they've changed it to 110. Okay, 110 kilometres an hour for motorcycles above 400cc. School buses 80. Vehicles with more than 7 seats but less than 15, 100 kilometres an hour. Tractors are agricultural. Come on, this is. Who comes up with this shit? Really? Absolutely crazy crap. But again, this is Thailand. It's bizarre. How they're going to police it, I have no idea. Okay, so basically everything in Thailand is all. I don't see any sort of highway patrol systems or police ever going into pursuit or chase. I have seen a few videos of motorcycle cops chasing motorcycles down in Pattaya, but that's about all I've ever seen. And they're like those viral videos that you sort of see every so often. Imagine tractors full clap at 45 kilometres. Yeah. Tell me about it. What about those? What they call dak-daks? that's the motor they have on 2 wheels with the long arm, you know. Do they have a speed limit for those things? I don't know if it's LineID and DuckDuck. I don't know how to spell it. Yeah, the DuckDuck challenge images. I don't know if you remember these DuckDuck. Pretty sure they're called DuckDuck, but yeah, that's a video there of this guy here is talking about it. DuckDuck challenge. Yeah, these things, you know, that one there has obviously got no tires. Normally they have wheels on them and they pull carts along, you know, and they do they have a speed limit for this? That's what I'm asking. Do they have a speed limit for these things? Because you get out places like Sukhothai, and that's, you know, these things are putting along at 10 kilometres an hour. Tuk-tuks can go at 120, you reckon? Yeah. They will need to upgrade to V8 or turbo. Look, I've seen, I think CB Media had a video out, these sort of things that they've got. They have races with these things. They suit them up with, you know, bloody big exhausts, and there's mud splatter everywhere, and I go, it's crazy shit. Have you ever sort of seen that crap?
In the U.S., we call those rototillers, and they do rototiller races here too.
Do they?
Yeah.
Do they? Okay.
In farming communities. Bunch of crazy people.
Have I got that? Okay, so this is rototiller. Let me sort of see if we can get a bit of a... Oh yeah, get rid of that shit. Okay, yeah. But that's being done on dirt, isn't it? You know, like I think CB Media had it. They were in this big mud patch. It was. Let's see if I can find him. CB Media. It was about, how long ago was it? It uploads. It's one of his more popular ones. How long? God, the guy churns some videos out, doesn't he? Oh, I think this is
on that video you were showing. It just hadn't rained that day.
There it is. Yeah, the racing. Yeah, these absolute contraptions that they have. They're absolutely bizarre. They really are. You ever seen this stuff? You're like, look, I highly recommend you check this video out. You know, it's absolutely just. It's bizarre. These guys, they race this shit. No, I'm not going to put his audio on. I'm just going to flick through it. There are copyright, you know, things we got to deal with here. So, but yeah, they scream through, like you can get an idea. These things that are screaming around, they're absolutely bizarre. Could you imagine those things on the road? Yeah, like I said, you know, like I'll let you go and find the video if you really want to look at it. But yeah, and the tires, they look so serious, right? It's just, I guess that's all they got to live for, isn't it? Have bananas on truck in front. Okay. They used to do it with water buffalo, but it wouldn't. I could imagine, yes. Only charging elephants can go. Only charging elephants go on the highway. Big Bad Joe was you gonna race? You gonna race tractors in the country? No, well, I really have no intention to, Big Bear. Okay. It has an engine, 4 legs, or 2. They will okay. They will race it. Well, some of the racing to go like this, the illegal street racing over here gets a bit quite bizarre. For elephants to go faster. Okay. What else we got? God, we're getting sidetracked. Yeah. So what we're talking about Starlink. Yeah, Starlink's being rolled out. It's going to be great for people outside. You know, the what they call the commercially viable areas for cable and fibre. And Starlink probably do quite well in Australia as well for regional. But again, you know, at least it gets you out of the monopoly that's available, that's currently running Australia with the what do you call it, the
Murdoch's.
NBN, the NBN, yeah, Murdoch's internet, yeah. Yeah, so that's the only way to really sort of get into any speed in Australia, and it's really going to work out pretty cost effective, because people are already complaining that they're getting shitty speed and they're paying through the nose for it in Australia. So that's an interesting one. Australia's lovely spending. How much do they spend? So 72 billion now on the NBN. What do they end up? What's the bill now? NBN. The National Broadband Network. I think this has been updated recently to tell us how much it cost them. It was originally funded at largest infrastructure project in Australian history. The NBN was subject to significant political contention and has been an issue of federal elections. Yeah, the Liberal Party initially stated that the multi-technology mix would be completed by 2016. However, this was changed after the election to 2019, and then again in 2000. The project cost jumped from the Liberal Party's estimated 29 billion before the 2013 election to 46 to 56 billion afterwards. In 2000, the NBN company said it was on target for 49 billion by late 2008, and the estimated final cost was 51 billion. It's just as far as I know, it's still not even finished yet. You know, should have been finished 5 years ago, if they didn't have so much bullshit going on. You know. Rudd government. I remember it was 40. I remember the cost that was really sort of pitched was 42 billion by the Labor government. Can't seem to find a reference to that. Yeah, the new national broadband network combining fibre to the premises, mixed wireless and satellite technologies. Access to 93% of Australia, population of 100 megabits per second to those people outside the network, blah blah blah. The cost was estimated 43 billion, revised down to 37 billion. If that had gone through and done properly, you know, that's what we would have been out. That was 2009. It's now 2020. It's not finished, right? And this cost has just gone through the roof. Yeah. This is what happens when you get imbeciles trying to sort of do technology. What are they doing? What is the National Broadband Network, Internet? It's a wholesaler, fibre, fan-based gate, hub, NTU. Well, you can find out for yourself. It's just an absolute farce of a project, and all the Australians paid for it. What are we going to? Long day at work. Luke, okay, off to bed. Okay, we'll take it easy, Luke. Good to see you here. Good to know my taxes are being spent on crappy hybrid systems. Yes, Stephen, that's what your taxes are going. Well, apart from the rises in salaries for the politicians that make these decisions, so taxes on money well spent. The old cables never got hit from a plus the old cable never got hit in a thunderstorm. Well, the cable I had did get hit in the thunderstorms. Yeah, 57 bit. I think that's what we finalised on it. Yeah. 51 bit in 2019. Budget 2 time. Yeah, so 85% complete. Yeah. So they announced full upgrade. Yeah, so they again spending money on upgrades on something that really. I want a refund. Yes. No bloody network. NBN. Exactly. I believe that the internet over in America, Augie, is really something that's hard to quantify as well, because every state has different rules around it, don't they?
Yeah. Well, I mean, every jurisdiction, every county. Like where I'm at, I'm on Mediacom because I'm in Pinal County.
Right.
If you step 18 blocks away, you're in Maricopa County, and it's run by Cox.
Right. So
and some jurisdictions they have multiple providers.
So you've only got one provider where you are, so you've got no choice.
For cable.
For cable.
I can go with POTS, which is like your NBN. It's run over
Right.
just standard copper,
Right.
and that's ADSL.
Okay.
So asynchronous digital service lines.
Yeah,
so.
yeah, and that's what within 3 kilometres of your hub,
Right.
you can get 20 megabits per second, I believe, or something like that.
Oh, you're lucky if you get that, but yeah.
Don't worry. I was on ADSL in Australia, ADSL 2, ADSL 2 Plus, before I switched over to Optus cable, and we were 4.5 kilometres from the hub, and I barely got 4.5 megabits per second. And I used to complain bitterly all the time. Sort of the speed was absolute crap.
Well, at the time when I had my ADSL, it was like everybody else was on dial-up, so I was extremely happy with 1 megabit down.
Yeah. I remember sort of
That's what 30 years ago.
I put ISDN. I put ISDN to my house in 2000 and 1999. I put 64 kilobit per second not ADSL. What do they call it? It was ISDN, Internet. Which was the most reliable there. That was their business service. It cost you a fortune. But at least it was better than the 56k sort of crap dial-ups thing. But yeah, the things we had to do in the old days. I don't know how we survived. I don't know if you remember the old. I know my first dial-up was an acoustic coupler. You put the handset into a little cradle.
300 baud.
300 baud, yeah, that was the good old.
I remember when it went to 1200 baud. It's like, oh my god, this is so fast. Crazy. I remember my first Google. It was called the Encyclopedia.
The acoustic coupler. This is how we used to connect to the internet. Oh my god, it's crazy.
That's the way fax machines used to work through those too. The first fax machines were acoustically coupled. You put the handset down on the fax machine. It's like, oh my god.
So this is what we had to grow up with, in the 80s, the early 80s. 82, 83. This is how you communicated. The thoughts just send shivers down my spine. Looking, we got gigabit speed now, and we don't know how. I don't know how we managed back in the day. But that was what you did.
It was the best we had. There was no choice.
Yeah, just looking back, the kids these days, they've got no idea what we had to put up with.
Yes, we had to slog 3 miles to school through 3 feet of snow uphill.
Uphill.
Both ways.
Both ways. That's it. Yeah. The old days. Looking at those pictures, it brings back memories. God, we can be thankful now that we've got technology that actually sort of works. It's amazing that stuff in Australia works, though.
The reason we had to do acoustic coupling here in the States, at least, because you weren't allowed to connect a wire to AT&T's telephone system. That was illegal to do.
Was it? It has to. Yep. It had to go through.
They had to come out and put in the phone. You couldn't. You had to pay for every device. It was ridiculous.
Yeah, and I thought America was a free country, wasn't it?
Well,
let's not go there.
It's free unless you're dealing with somebody's income.
That's right. Time for my seniors bowl of soup. Really. LMA. So in Australia we have two choices. You get the NBN or you get nothing. But not much different between the choices yet. Bring back ADSL. Well, I don't think we really want to go backwards, Stephen, but yeah, I feel your pain. And Standy stuff. 5G coming to you by 2030. Can't wait. Well, what we really have in 2030, who's anybody's guess. We've got 5G here in sort of Bangkok. I just haven't bothered upgrading my phone. I can be bothered with it. I don't need 5G on my phone. 4G works fine.
That's right. 4G works.
I don't watch movies on my phone. I don't feel the need to be plugged into that speed. But again, some people do. Let them pay for it. Downgrade to NBN. Good thing. Good thing about NBN, you can spell it backwards. Stephen's in good form today. We are all free, but you only get one choice. It's what we call the new freedom. The new normal, the new freedom. Yeah. Such is life. Anyway, I'm just trying to think also, what do we want to talk about? I said the whole idea of this program is for you guys to, chat amongst yourselves. We'd love you to come and, join us on the Discord as well, but we're not going to force anybody to do it. But the whole idea of the new format of the program is I'm just going to sit here and do the jiggery pokery. If we talk about something, I'll find a reference article and we can talk about it. But I want you guys to drive the program, ask questions. I think we were talking about that last night as well. Like how do we get people to ask more questions? But then, of course, I'm leading the conversation again. What do you think about this? What do you think about that? I'm trying to get away from that. I'm trying to get some sort of discourse going to say, what do we want to talk? Would you rather have NBN or but and bring back the motor or brick? Yes. My first phone was the Nokia 1011. That was my first digital phone. That was my first my first cell phone or digital cell phone. It worked really well. It was still a brick, but it wasn't one of those carry around briefcase bricks. The stuff before that was really, they were quite
my brother had one of those.
Yeah. I remember when I moved out, I still had this phone in 2016. I got thrown in the bin. I didn't take it with me. I didn't sell it or anything. But I had that since from 90. I think it got 93. I bought that 93, 94.
I probably still have one of those sitting out in the storage shed.
Yeah.
I have this horrible hoarder attitude. It's like I can't bring myself to throw. I have Windows 3.0 unopened in a box.
Really? No,
Yes.
I in my garage. I had copies of that. I had multiple copies of that because you know, because I started, like back in, my business back
Yep.
in, the early '90s. We were installing
Same thing.
Windows 3.1. And I still had sort of licensed copies on the shelf. The government wouldn't let me, like the tax department wouldn't let me actually sort of write down the value, of this product, because that's the thing. Like, and then they give you a 40% diminishing value on stock, but sort of certain things like software, they only give you a sort of a 20% fixed cost depreciation. So the stuff will stay on your shelf for 5 years, and like you can't really write it off. And right, ugh, scary shit. So a lot of stuff just stayed on my shelf because of the fact that it was on my books. I couldn't get it off my books and throw it away. But yeah, back in the day, remember when Windows 3.1 was on 7 floppy disks?
Yes.
7 floppy disks, 1.4 meg floppy disks. Well, actually, they were 1.8 meg. They had a special special compression on them. But yeah, you could load it up. Load up your. Ugh. Oh God! Thank God for computers these days.
Well, I mean, remember when there was only 256K of addressable memory?
Mm-hmm. My first real computer had 640K memory. Stephen, I still have my Thailand Motorola with the aerial. Really, a few people know the true reason why they got rid of the analog network. It worked. Can't have that. Telstra never worked. Why should the network? Why can't it work? Can't have that. Telstra never worked. Why? Sorry, I don't quite. It's the way I'm reading it today. I can't really make what that means. Why they got rid of the analog network? Well, unfortunately, the analog network was got rid of because of the fact that the amount of devices that have to share the network bandwidth, it couldn't be done on the old system.
They took up too much space each.
Is that what it is? Yeah. Mr. Mitch,
Yep.
okay, guys, I'm off. Have a great weekend. Okay, so Mr. Mitch, great to have you
Sorry,
along.
Mr. Mulch.
Yeah. There's some memories of the old way we used to operate things. It's just the good old days. Well, this is when when things were starting to happen. The progression of the internet, where before the likes of Facebook and Apple came on the scene, and I think then took the whole thing the wrong way. The good old days when when internet computing was Aussie Mail dial-up. I don't remember Aussie Mail back in the day. Bring back landlines. LMA. Once the wireless works perfectly, will we be dropping like flies because of the radiation? You reckon?
Well, how about when they were touting that all these cellular phones would cause a massive outbreak of brain tumors because of the radio waves so close to your brain.
Yeah. So again, I don't think I've done this before, but you got to get a look at the radio frequency spectrum, and where does 5G sit? That's a really sort of bad picture, isn't it? 2.4G, one to the ISO, the standards, passive active radio frequencies.
Well, 5G has to do with it's the 5th generation. It doesn't. It's not that it's 5 gigahertz.
Yeah, and I'm just looking for it. It sits very close to microwave.
Yeah.
And so this is what people just have no idea about this. So I was just trying to find where the actual.
A microwave uses 1100 watts usually, or at least 800. And what are these cell phones putting out? Less than 5 now.
Yeah, I know. It's just people just don't understand. That's all. I was just trying to find where the relevant picture was. But yes, if that was going to cause what they call ionizing radiation, right? Then we would all died when microwaves were first invented. But no, people just.
Well, you still don't want to get in front of a big microwave.
Well, that's it. Again, they have some shielding. But again, like how good's the shielding?
No, I mean don't stand in front of a high-powered cyclotron. It's probably not going to be good for you.
Yeah, well, as I said, there is that to the side. But
I was working on a bus radio, which we're down in the 150 megahertz range, but it was a 150 watt output unit, and I accidentally, without even thinking about it, I reached out, grabbed the antenna, and keyed up the radio, and it burnt my hand.
Oh yeah. You pump 1100 watts at that sort of distance, of course it does.
I was like, I was stupid.
I was trying to find there's some pretty good graphs out there to show you where these sort of things sit.
Yeah.
So yeah, this 5G sits in here between 3.5 gigahertz and 26 gigahertz, but so does microwaves. But that doesn't give you the comparative. Yeah, I just loved the brainless people that are making all the statements on the internet that don't really know science, and I think that's really what it comes down to. They just know, they failed science. I don't know what they did in school, and what did they do in school? Is science not a subject that's taught in America? I don't know.
Well, I mean, we had a chiropractor saying that ultrasound was going to damage babies when they used it because it's the same frequency as the radio waves. Well, hello, it's audio waves. It's not radio waves. It's not going to damage the fetus. Like, oh my God! I had to explain that to my chiropractor because he had gotten, it was in one of their chiropractic journals. And I was like, oh my gosh, is this true? I go, no, it's not. Let me explain it to you.
Mm-hmm.
There's a big difference between radio waves and audio waves. They can be at the same frequency.
Yeah.
You can have radio frequency, you can have radio waves that are down at the 50, 60 hertz range.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like...
I got an email, LMA. I got an email from an account that was at AOL. I was like, damn, they're still around. I don't know.
Yes, they are still around.
Are they?
Those AOL email accounts are still around. You can still pay for AOL access.
Really? God almighty. America Online, yes, I remember the old. Yeah. I think that's one of those sort of things. If you were on AOL, that's it. There's no hope for you. Is that still the case?
I haven't personally met anybody that still uses it, but I'm.
I still have a Hotmail address, but I have that forwarded straight into my my domain now. But
yeah, some of the stuff. Oh my gosh, it's just.
Stephen, all I know about 5G is more than 4G. Yeah, that's it. Radio spectrum sits exactly between the hospital and the cemetery. Aussie Mail was Malcolm Turnbull. That's it. Oz Email, yeah, Aussie Mail. Drainchild, and he made billions out of it. Yeah. And that's what we thought when he actually got elected as the federal government. We thought, oh, good, somebody who knows technology is going to actually run the country. Little did we know that the guy was an absolute freaking clueless freaking moron. It didn't, like, obviously he ran Email as he was the CEO, but I guess he just really didn't understand the technology he was selling. He let all the dumb techies do all that sort of stuff.
CEOs are usually businessmen, not technologists.
Yeah, no. LMA. I worked a little in the RF industry each year, and they would expand the hazard area around each antenna. So each year they got a little bit more dangerous. Well, they were just pumping more and more juice out there. Andy Stubbs. I'm going to buy a house next door to a 5G tower. It would be cheap. I remember sort of even today you can get you can buy land underneath the high tension cables. That goes really cheap. I wouldn't want to live under it though.
Well, but if you could put up a giant coil of wire and parasite power off of them.
Oh, there was something I was trying to. There's this guy in South Africa who's invented this. What they're calling it free energy device, but he's using he's picking up the latent radio frequencies around the globe and converting that into electricity. I don't know, and like it's sort of getting some sort of hype now in discussions around sort of different circles. And I'm going, I built a crystal radio when I was 8 years old or 9 years old.
Yeah.
That worked, and basically how did a crystal radio work?
Yeah.
Well, it was picking up latent radio frequency from the planet. Yeah. That's how you drove it. It was a free energy. Well, technically, it was a free energy device.
Yep. It just converted the frequency of the set to electrical energy. That's the audio that came out.
Yeah. So what's new about this invention? This guy, like, didn't anybody do science?
No, I don't think so.
I just really, but it's getting getting a whole bunch of discussion on certain forums now. Really, I remember something come out a few years ago as well. Something similar of a 12-year-old built something similar, and oh my God, best thing since sliced cheese. It's going to change the world. No, it's not going to change the world. Unfortunately, what's going to happen is most of that radio frequency is what we pump into the air, which is driving it. Okay, there's some coming in from the sun as well, but we're pumping a lot of energy into the air, right? And if you put up one of these devices, well, there's going to be lawsuits come out to the fact that, well, you can't really have that device because we create that energy. We're going to tax you for it because you're picking up our radio frequencies that we're pumping out. How do you qualify?
You're stealing our energy.
That's it. Okay, a lot of it comes from the sun, but the thing is, there's going to be laws. I can see lawsuits coming because of the fact that I'm sorry, you can't have that device simply because of the fact that like we're putting that energy into the radio frequency spectrum that you're sucking the energy out of, But we'll see how that one pans out over the next years.
That falls in the same category as the people that go and make a genetically modified seed, and then they go plant it out in the field, and then when the bees pollinate these seeds and it gets cross-contaminated into a neighboring farm,
right? Yeah.
They come and take the farmer's crop because it's their genetic property. You can't have that.
Yeah, I know. Some of the stuff that we have to deal with, it's ridiculous.
It's beyond ridiculous. It's, as far as I'm concerned, it should just be criminal.
Yeah.
the fact that they go out and try and do that, it's like, what? You want them to pay you pay you a premium because you planted your crop next door to them, and now they're getting the advantage of your genetically modified crop. It's like, no.
If you train the bees to do it, yeah, I suppose you could be sort of, somehow responsible, but, the bees will do it. Not you're not at fault. This is just nature. This is what nature does. But anyway.
Well, I think they should be sued for having contaminated the person's pure and natural crop.
Yeah, well, that's the other way it should be. Yeah, I'm sorry, you've put your tainted, your genetically modified crop into my, my green field.
You got your peanut butter in my chocolate.
That's it. Yeah. Andy Stubbs, how much would the government pay me to whack in a wind tower in my backyard? Well, there are some towers you can actually be putting in there that are sort of very silent. Some of the new designs are really sort of, quite well designed now. Sort of wind turbines. There's some coming out of Europe now, which I've been checking the progress of. Not these propeller things, but the images. Let me just see what we can find outside the generics. There are sort of rooftop, sort of house designs. There's even one that I've sort of seen that actually works on. They're just vertical poles. They actually have no blades at all. They're always sort of seeing on that. It's just the standard stuff. No, that wasn't it. Was it? No, that wasn't the one. Oh, where's it?
It's weird.
Yeah, so these ones here, this one here is being given a lot of, alternate energy press lately. They're silent running, fit on your rooftop, and they are very, very efficient. They're using what they call a vortex style turbine. So, like vortex is one of the things I think really hasn't been researched enough. But the way it creates a spiraling energy sort of that is very, very efficient. There was some good hype coming out of Europe about them a few years ago, but things just seem to have died down a lot. I don't know why we don't. Everybody should why one of these on the roof. Again, it comes down to obviously storage. Storage of that energy is what we need to be looking at. How do we store the energy when it's being created?
Well, here in the U.S., you can put up an alternative energy device like that. It hooks into the grid, and you actually sell it back to the power company.
Yeah, but you'd be better off building yourself what they call a deep cycle battery farm inside your house. But the lead and the copper involved in that gets expensive.
You have to maintain those. Most people don't have the patience to maintain their car.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah. Deep cycle.
Basically, Tesla's got wall-mounted units now. That's a battery bank and converter.
Yeah, I've seen the Tesla ones. Yeah.
Yeah.
But again, that's using lithium. Again, it's a very expensive product. There's some stuff coming up in the market that's really sort of going to sort of shake the foundations of the lithium market. What was it? I was only reading about the other day. Can't remember the names now. Anyway, my sister-in-law got COVID vaccine. Okay, Malcolm K. How's she doing? Did she have any sort of ill effects? just sucked the life out of me. And he says, "Who got the solar panels on the roof? Who's got solar panels?" I was going to put them in Australia, but because I was going to be selling my house, I decided against it.
There are a lot of people here in Arizona that have solar panels.
No, I bet they do. It's a perfect place for it, and Australia should be a
Yep.
perfect place for it as well.
My brother's completely off the grid. He's got 2 large solar arrays as well as a mini hydro on his property. And then it all goes into a big battery room. And then he's also got a backup generator that will run off either diesel or natural gas.
Mm-hmm. We had a friend up in the just outside of the grid in trying to do exact Gosford area, up that way, just outside the grid, and they had solar, they had a diesel generator, but he actually built his own deep cycle battery bank.
Yep.
And
It's not that difficult to do. You just go buy the batteries. I mean,
no, he actually made the batteries. These batteries were 1.5 volt deep cycle, freestanding. They stood each battery was about maybe 4 foot tall and about 12 inches square. And he had 24 of these things, and they were all sort of wired up that way. But they were just lead acid style battery, but deep cycle, and extremely efficient at storing. And they would store a lot of power.
at that size,
and very low maintenance. Very low maintenance, but unfortunately, again, like you said, you have to, every so often you have to do things with them, and check. You got to check your acid levels and all sorts of things like that. They weren't car batteries. They were specifically designed to store solar energy for a long period of time.
Yeah, here in Arizona they have large, as for backup power, for the power grid actually has large battery banks within the system, so that if the power goes down,
they did something in South Australia as well. I think Tesla put in a whole battery system in South Australia a few years ago as a test case. They gave the South Australian government a special price. And it supposedly, from what I read, it was it really worked out quite well for South Australia, or for Adelaide, especially in some of the most recent power grid lockouts that they had down there.
Yeah, Texas probably could have used those. Or Texans left, hasn't he?
There's a Zeno from Turkey. How you doing? Good morning from Turkey. Yeah, is it morning time? I suppose it would be. Yeah, it's coming up to closing time anyway. Time to get into our game, isn't it? We've got to check it. We've got to check out with Psycho whether he's found a fix for that. Yeah, he's not even online yet at the moment. So he's not on. He was looking into. He said something. He found something to roll back the Valheim, leveling system, but I don't have to see how that worked. Lithium. Elon Musk is trying to set up, or has the massive. Trying to set up or has the massive plants. I'm not quite sure what you mean, lithium. I think that, again, lithium batteries, people really, they call it lithium batteries. There's very little lithium in these battery systems. It's nickel is the main product in them. And if you really want to be looking at investing in some blue chip nickel, because the fact that the world supply or backup supply of nickel is being depleted at a rate and it's going to take years for those plants for nickel to be, ramp up their mining, to obviously supplement the things that the lithium battery sort of technology requires. And Zenil, I am Atilia. I'm not quite sure.
Talia?
Natalia? Is that a place over, is it? Anyway, Elon Musk has these huge lithium plants which can power home. Oh yeah, I've sort of seen that. There's also a what they call a mini nuclear reactor system as well. That's being trialled around the world, or in different.
Buddy.
Mini and nuclear.
I want a fusion, buddy.
What, Mr. Fusion?
Oh, that'd be good too.
These are these tiny nuclear reactors. Let me get out of the screen. This tiny nuclear reactor will change energy, and it's now official. This was published on September 2, 2020. This is actually a real device. They're just getting through an approval system right now. The NuScale has received the landmark final safety evaluation report for its modular reactor design, making it the first American modular design to reach this point. NuScale's design uses a classic nuclear fission water reactor technology in a much smaller form factor, which contrasts with the escalating size of most of the current nuclear plant construction around the world. Basically, I don't know if we get any sort of real sort of what does it look like? So I can't even open image. Have we got a big image of it? No, we haven't got a big image of it. But they're self-contained. Potentially, the current design, which still has several steps until it can be constructed in the wild, is for 50 megawatts per module. NuScale seeks to apply for a 60 megawatt version next. So they're extremely safe. Or
50 megawatts.
I did see some drawings. Where are they? They just showed you the actual size of them. They were not that big at all. Unlike current nuclear reactors, which are massive scale things, these things here are very, very compact and can be sort of shipped anywhere. And if they get final approval, it's going to just completely change the way the power systems are. Like forget solar. Solar's only a stopgap. These things here, like they run forever. But I don't sort of see any of those images coming up sort of giving actual physical size. We get some artist impressions. Maybe that's giving you so that's, I guess that's about the best you're going to get. That's a human height. It's a little bit higher than a human. The heat exchange, passive delay, reaction controls, pipes, and all that sort of stuff. But they have the potential to sort of, if they ever get final approval, they have the potential to sort of release. What's that one there? Nuclear reactor could power outposts on Mars. Yeah, there's some things really definitely shaping up in the nuclear field as well. But anyway, I digress. I'm going to wrap it up, and because I need to go and have a bathroom break. Nice to have everybody along. We've had low numbers today because we were just letting you guys talk. But as I said, we want to make the program more of an interactive thing where everybody joins in. So I really want to have people coming onto the Discord. So we've got the videos out there on how to make Discord work. So we're definitely sort of enjoy your company to participate in the actual on-air discussion. Talk about anything and everything. Talk about sort of Thailand. Talk about anything really. But this is g'day from Thailand. You know, we're not going to be Thailand specific, but let's just see if we can sort of get some dialogue going. Talk about anything and everything. Some hottie sisters, huh? What? Just see you guys. Have a great weekend. Yeah, Richie. See you, Wazza, and everybody. Stay safe. I'm going to wrap it up. 5 minutes to go. Where's my cue? Cue my music out. But I do feel I need to go to the bathroom. So I'm. The Sacred Heart College was all girls school with a large group of boys lined up along the fence. I remember sort of ask with boys and ask with girls. You had to go across the railway line to the ask with girls. I don't know how many times we had the police to turn up and sort of say, "Stop hanging outside this the gate for the Asquith Girls High. It's not kosher." But anyway, yeah, I remember school days. Always fun. Anyway, I'm out of here. Me and Oggy are going to sort of do some gaming next. I think we'll probably go do some live streaming on Twitch maybe, I don't know. Got to find what Psycho's doing. Anyway, I'm out of here, and we'll catch up with you next week. Stay tuned. I've got a video on the can from last night's exercise. It should be out Monday or Tuesday, and we'll get our usual Wednesday run around. Maybe we'll go and check out that wood-fired pizza place just to try it out, and sort of make a video of that one. Anyway, peace out. Love you having along, and we'll hopefully see you again here next week. Peace out and bye for now.
I want you to lift me up so high, a place that no one's ever been. Take me to oblivion.
Are you out?
Almost out. The splash screen.